Good morning, fifth grade. I'm here today to do a couple of videos for you. I'm going to probably be two, possibly three videos. The first one is going to be short, and I'm just going to go over the Chapter 15 test with you. That was the very first thing in your English packet for this week. You may have already attempted to do it, and that's fine. If you want to pull it back out as you watch this video and go over some stuff, I'll be going over some examples and explaining the directions to you to make sure that you don't miss anything, because this is a test grade, so it counts a lot more than everything else you've been doing. So if you'll want to pull out your Chapter 15 test with me, we're going to go over it. I'm looking at Section A right now. Section A says write a preposition from the word bank to complete each sentence. So they're even giving you your choices of prepositions for these blanks. You've got four choices: among, between, during, or in, and you've got four sentences. So make sure you think about what those words mean as you choose which one to use in each sentence in Section A. In Section B, it says put parentheses around each prepositional phrase. We've talked about those before, and I may have a sheet here I can show you guys about that. I'm trying to stick together a little bit here. Put this right here. Parentheses around each prepositional phrase is the first thing it tells you to do. Parentheses. These are parentheses. This is parentheses around a prepositional phrase. Across the Red Sea is the prepositional phrase. If you look at your test, we'll do one together because I've got to grade it, so I can't do more than one. But in Section B, number 5 says the Alps stretch across 8 European countries. Write that on here. The Alps are a big mountain range. Stretch across 8 European countries. All right, so the first thing we want to do is find our prepositional phrase. Well, to do that, we have to find our preposition. If you go back to your preposition list that I sent you, and you may use it while you're taking your test, we can see that the word across is on our preposition list. Across is the beginning of the prepositional phrase because it starts with the preposition, and it ends with the object of the preposition. That is the noun that comes after the preposition. Across 8 European countries, okay? 8 is an adjective describing countries. European is telling us which country, so all of that is our prepositional phrase, across 8 European countries. So that's what you would do in that section. And then it says, there's two parts to this, underline the simple subject once and the verb twice. All right, well, what is this sentence about? It's about Alps. Those are mountains. So that's the subject. And what is the verb? The action word in here is stretch. So you're going to underline it twice. So there's two sets of instructions for part B. If you only do the prepositional phrase, you only get it half right. If you only underline the subject or the verb, you only get it part right. So do all the parts of that. Section C says, write an object pronoun to replace the underlined words. We learned about pronouns. They are words that take the place of a noun in a sentence. Words like he, she, him, they, it. Those are pronouns that take the place of a noun. And when it says an object pronoun, that means it's not the subject pronoun. It's not taking the place of the subject in the sentence. It's taking the place of the object in the sentence, like the direct object or the object of the preposition. So in number 8, it says the Matterhorn was first climbed by Edward Whymper. Edward Whymper is a man. He's a guy. So we would say the Matterhorn was first climbed by him. That's the preposition that we would use, the pronoun that we would use to replace Edward Whymper. Now, number 9 says, people once thought no one could climb the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn is not a girl or a boy, a male or a female. It's a thing. So remember the prepositions that we use to replace things that don't have a gender. And then plural, the mountain looked very steep to Chris and me. Okay, it looks to, you got to use a plural pronoun in that place right there. Replace Chris and me with a pronoun. All right, in section D, fill in the circle to tell whether the underlined word is an adverb or a preposition. We talked about this in our lesson, I believe last week or the week before, remembering that if it's a preposition, it's going to have some words after it because it's the beginning of a prepositional phrase. And if it's at the end of a sentence, if there are no words after it, it's not in a prepositional phrase, then it's being used as an adverb because some of the same words can be prepositions, but they can also be adverbs. So very carefully remember that if there are words after the underlined word, it's going to be a preposition because it's part of a prepositional phrase. And if there are no words after it, it's being used as an adverb. In section E, circle the subordinating conjunction in each sentence and write I if the underlined clause is independent, that is, it can be used by itself as a sentence, or D if it's a dependent clause and it can't stand alone. Number 15, although today we admire the beauty of the Alps, they were not always so appreciated. Okay, well the underlined group of words there, they were not always so appreciated, that can stand alone, can it? So that's an independent clause. Because you could say they were not always so appreciated. We know that they was referring to the Alps in the previous sentence, or in the previous part of the sentence in this case. But also, the subordinating conjunction is like a joining word. So in that sentence, the word although is the subordinating conjunction, and it would need to be circled. And then in 16, you've got something underlined, and then you also have a subordinating conjunction in there. If the subordinating conjunction is part of the underlined phrase, then it is going to be a dependent clause. If it is part of the ununderlined one, then the one that is underlined would be independent and could stand alone. The subordinating conjunction is what makes it dependent on the rest of the sentence. So that is for 15 and 16. For 17, 18, and 19, that's section F, you're going to underline the independent clause and circle the conjunction in each sentence, and then you're going to decide whether the sentence is compound or complex and fill in the bubble next to the right one. So the first thing it says to do is underline the independent clause. That's the part of the sentence that can stand alone. Rugged landscapes became popular as people adopted romantic views of nature. So as is going to be the conjunction in the sentence. So that's where you would circle the word as, and rugged landscapes became popular can stand alone. That is an independent clause. So you're going to underline the first part, circle the word as, because if you said as people adopted romantic views of nature, that's independent, that's dependent. You don't know what happens. And then you decide if that is compound or complex based on the rules that we talked about last week on the worksheets, whether it has two independent clauses or one independent clause and one dependent clause. One of them is compound and one of them is complex. If you need to go back and view the Teacher Tools online video from Chapter 15, please do that. Go ahead and do that so that you can make sure that you understand what you're doing when you fill out this part of the test. In section G, write the letter of the correct sentence type. And there again, you'll go back to those same couple of lessons and decide whether it's a simple sentence, a compound sentence or a complex sentence, and write A if it's simple, write B if it's compound, and C if it's complex. Once again, you may go view the video if that will help you to make that determination. And then for the very last section of the test, write CS if the sentence contains a comma splice, write C if the sentence is correct. So if the comma is in the wrong place or not used correctly, write CS because that means it's a comma splice, and write C if it is used correctly. You can go back and view the Teacher Tools online video for the lesson that we did on commas last week if you need to do that. Make sure that you check over your work. Don't skip anything. Please use your preposition list. I emailed you a couple weeks ago. Use the Teacher Tool online videos for each section as you're taking this test to help you. This was a tough lesson. A tough chapter with us having to do it completely without being together. So I want to give you every opportunity to do the best you can. If that means using the tools that you have, which are those Teacher Tools online videos, please look at those as you complete the test. Have an adult check over it to make sure you filled everything out, and then make sure that your name is on each sheet in here so that we can make sure that I have your paper. So that's all I'm going to do for this video. I'm going to go on and end it, and then I'll be making another video, at least one more to cover the next 4 worksheets. It may, if it's too long, it may become 2 videos, but that's all for this one, and good luck on the test. I'll be praying for you guys, and then I'll be back with you in just a little bit to do the other videos. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.